Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is WREXtra Time on the Local Pundit. I am Paddy Power. We have just completed our home match versus Rotherham, taking the win 1-0. Questions for tonight's show. Smith and Rodriguez, are they worth the money yet? Macca, does he know where the midfield is? Peterborough, my favourite pals, they did us a favour tonight. But they did shit the bed just a little at 90+3 by letting them score a goal for the draw. But look, we'll take what we can. Wickham won't go softly into that good night just yet, but we'll take them out soon enough. And finally, relegation fodder. Do we now know who the bottom four are? All this and more on tonight's WREXtra Time.
It's WREXtra Time! Let's go! Another Wrexham win. Good results all through the table for us. We're even with Wickham. We're 6 ahead of Stockport, 8 ahead of Charlton. We are 10 ahead of 7th place. We are in a very strong position.
And Aaron, I was about to say that intro, it was so bad. Should we bring him back in?
Yeah, that was a misclick. I did not mean to sit out on that intro. But anyway, I got professional co-hosts. They'll just jump in.
There you go. We got you. We got you covered.
Because as we say, shoot the rehearsal.
That's right. Shoot the rehearsal.
Paddy's not here. Who cares?
Oh, shoot.
So did we enjoy that one?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was fun. It was a good game. A tough game. Pretty even, really. I mean, you know, it was a fairly even. I thought we had the better of it, but I do think it was a fairly even game. Fairly even. But a 1-0 win.
Dangerous in attack when we attacked. I just, why can't we just score 3 goals and take away the stress?
No, I know.
Please.
So Wickham did manage to pull it back for a draw, putting us on equal points. And they stay in second place on a goal difference of +6. But we have a game to play on Tuesday that they don't have, so we can pull another 3 points on them as a game in hand, and then we play them next, which means if we kick them and pull another 3, that could be quite nice. 6 points ahead with a game in hand.
No,
I can take that.
They would have a game.
They'd have a game in hand, yeah.
They'd have a game in hand, yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. I mean, it's all how you look at it, isn't it? Like, we get the extra game to get the points. We've got to get them, though. And then we have less rest while they get the full week off.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think the rest doesn't help us.
Okay.
Well, and you got to think.
Games.
Here's the other thing, too. You got to think for them mentally, dropping points today. Now they're even with us, heading into our game.
Sit with it for a week.
They've got to sit on that for a week. So you're going to have probably some negativity over the draw with Peterborough. And then, it could be a long week for them. They may be, could really mess with them mentally.
Let's get someone else's opinion, Paddy. Don't put it out there.
Yeah, get in here.
Okay, it's out there already. I have put the link in. This evening, WREXtra Time is your show, as I say. Everybody hears me talk. Well, actually, they don't, because I haven't been on that much lately. So maybe I'll be on a little bit more lately. But anyway, this is your show, so come and have your say. Now, I know we've just won, and I know we're now equal with Wickham, and we're obviously going to now get automatics. So nothing negative to say, but today's a positive day. Come say something positive.
Yes.
And look, if you really have something negative to say, then feel free.
Yeah.
I have a little negative thing to say.
Yeah, okay.
Macca doesn't seem to know where midfield is. Because he was put on the pitch to go to midfield and couldn't get off the sideline.
That was true. You definitely could see he was wanting to get out there, and it's like that. You gotta get back. Yeah,
I'm a left wing back, and that's my position. Rev, I'm over here. We're going to hang out like besties and just do our thing together.
Yeah, besties that like to rub on each other while they're trying to defend the same ball.
To be fair to him, though, he didn't look bad. Yeah, I don't think he looked bad in the midfield today. I thought he
wasn't in the midfield. How could he look bad
well,
in the
but
midfield?
You're right, Aaron. He didn't look bad in the midfield because he wasn't there.
But he was. I thought he played pretty well. I thought he was okay.
Yeah. So plenty of questions to talk about today. Another one is Lee. We got our starting Lee, which is what people were crying out for.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be a discussion point tonight. If you have been shouting, saying Dobson and James doesn't work, and we need someone more creative like Lee in the midfield, come on tonight and discuss it and tell me what you thought. Because lots of people were shouting about it. I said it. Might be a good idea to see it. Well, we saw it today. What do you think? Did it work? Did it not work? Now, Dobson is probably going to be out for a little while, so we're probably going to see it again. We're getting a little light in the midfield because Maka ended up there, coming off the bench. And should Maka be out on the left, or are we happy with his replacement, Raban?
Well, in the pre-game, Paddy, I said that I think Lee needs time on the pitch like Revan to settle in. And I think he needs a couple more games and just keep playing him. I think he'll get better.
Okay. Sorry, I just saw that in the corner of my eye and it took my focus. So I didn't hear anything you said, Ken. So from Root H,
okay.
at Josh.
What I said was, Paddy, you're really shit at the show, and I can't believe that you don't get anything wrong. No. So what I said was in the pregame, I said that Lee, I said Lee needed more time like Rev to settle in and get better.
Yeah.
And so I think that he needs to keep playing because even I didn't think he was great tonight, but he wasn't bad. He just wasn't great. And I think that more game time will just be better for him.
Yeah, I agree.
So what took our attention was Root H at Josh, not at us. It's not like it's our show or my show even.
It's Josh's channel.
It's shout out Josh. But you know what? Josh does listen to us. He's here. I'm sure he's around there. There we go. Look.
Yeah, he just
next two comments down. He's in the chat. So interview on Match Day Live with our CEO, and apparently he is dropping a lot of updates. So that could be very interesting and something we need to look at. But before we hit that, because there's lots and lots of questions tonight, guys, get in and queue up in the background. I'll bring you in shortly. Come join us. But I'm going to bring up the matches. Have I got them here? I'm sure I do. Because we had some interesting results today. If I can find one.
You want me to bring them up?
If you have them, bring them up. If you have them
ready.
Okay. Then cancel. Yeah. Go for it.
There we go.
Okay. So results for today, Ken. Go on.
Okay. So early games, Crawley and Reading 1-1, Stockport, Charlton 0-0, which was great for us, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then Reading, keep them back. Stockport, absolutely right behind us.
Yeah. And then all the other games, Birmingham. So the leaders took a 1-0 win over Lincoln City, which was great for them, obviously. Bristol Rovers 1-0 over Huddersfield. Not a great result for Huddersfield. Great result for us.
Yeah.
Wigan Athletic 1-0 over Cambridge, basically cementing their spot to head to League Two. Exeter 2-0 over Shrewsbury. Same can be said there. Stevenage, Mansfield got a late goal to get the draw with Stevenage, which has stopped the rot for Mansfield, and which is actually a really big result for them today, ironically. Then obviously our game. Burton and Bolton were 1-1, and then Bolton scored a later winner to go up early in the second half. I think it was they scored their second goal to go up 2-1 and have held on, which is good for them, but not great for Burton. Obviously, making that top four, the bottom four, look really sort of a little bit of a gap there.
And the only one that was particularly bad for us, if you were going to call anything bad, is that's the only one that kind of went against what we would like.
And not terrible, but exactly.
Yeah, not terrible. Obviously, you can't have everything.
Leighton Orient, their last win was against a little team called Wrexham. They've gone down 2-1 at home to Northampton. Barnsley at home to Blackpool, and Blackpool have turned up and spanked them 3-0. And then bloody Peterborough 1-0 up for the whole game, all the way to extra time, and then they go and do something bloody stupid, like let Wickham score a goal. Not happy. Not happy.
Look, we're getting a little too greedy, maybe, but very good result. It took 2 points off them. That was the 2-point gap that we had with them, so we're now on equal points. They're ahead, as we said, by the goal difference only. So it's in our hands now. Tuesday we get a match, which will become a game in hand for them. But if we take out the 3 points, we can go into the match next weekend with Peterborough 3 points ahead. And if we give them a spanking on the weekend, that's 6 points behind us, with them having a potential game in hand.
Yeah. Well, there's the table for you too, Paddy.
Okay, so pretty standard there. So we're looking at the gap behind us. We are on 68 points. Stockport is next with 62, and we have a game in hand on them as well. So that's 6 points with a potential up to another 3. Charlton is on 68 points behind us. And then following them, Huddersfield 58, against another game in hand there available. Reading at 55 points, nicely behind. Now, one thing I wasn't really paying attention to today, but is important. We were kind of saying the other matches aren't that important, but actually, I have found the reason they could be. If you slide down to the bottom of the table, right, so now we have Shrewsbury, Cambridge, and Crawley. They are all pretty much done for now at this stage. It would take somewhat of a miracle to pull themselves out of there. Burton is the one that have a shot, but they're currently 33 points. 33, do you like that? I'm Irish. 33 points. With 36 games played, and almost everybody has at least one game, maybe 2 games on them. So that looks like Bristol Rovers 6 points away from the relegation. Peterborough above them, Exeter and Northampton, they're all pulling away. That gap between relegation is actually important for us because we have some of those teams in our final easier running. So if they are dead and buried and going down in the leagues, that is much better for us. You don't want someone fighting for their survival to come up against us in the end. So this could be very, very good news for our final running. If that gap especially keeps widening. Burton as well could know that they're done. And it seems our old buddy Bodvarsson, I loved him scoring and them getting points, and I was having a bit of fun. Could Peterborough go down? But now we're getting right to the pointy end. Actually, sorry, Burton, but you can drop out of here, keep a nice big gap, and we'll just have an easier running at the end with a lot of people on the beach.
If anyone knows, can they let us know? Has he got an injury? What is it? Yeah, I love this comment from Steve Barton. That's great.
33.
33.
33.
33.
I like it. Oh, shoot. Yeah, good results today. I mean, today went really well for us.
It couldn't have got much better, in fairness.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only way you get better today is probably
if we scored 7.
Well, and or Wickham lose. If Peterborough holds on and wins that game, that's about the only.
Yeah, if Wickham had lost by 3 and we had won by 4,
maybe you could argue Bolton lose. Dropping points would have been better, but
you can't get every one of them. It's so rare. Every result goes your way.
About to say that, Paddy. Like there's a 6 goal difference, like for and against that Wickham's got over us, and that's the only thing. Because we always just win games 1-0, 1-0. Like the occasional 2 or 3-0, and that goal difference wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Not even with Wickham doing anything else. Just us actually learning to score a couple of goals in a game.
Okay, shout out, guys. Come on. Who is going to be the first in for WREXtra Time? because we don't have anybody in the background just yet.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I haven't had to do it yet, but I can go drink beer. Because I'm happy about today's results too. But now is a perfect time to have a bit of positivity in the chat, to actually discuss good things. Because in fairness, some people do jump in the chat every now and again saying everything is too negative. Well, that's soccer in the UK. For anybody who may be international fans and doesn't understand, that's what a season of football is. Bitching and moaning about your team until the end of the season and you see what the actual result is. And that doesn't matter whether you're in auto promotions or not for most people. That's just the way the British people are.
Yeah, people need to get in here because I got to drop out. I have to take my daughter to a birthday party. I may be back in if some people get in here and talk, and maybe you guys will still be going when I come back. So
Big update. State championships today, Aaron.
Yes, state championship wrestling tournament today. Brandon finished second place. Lost on points in the championship round, but had a really good run. Won 4 matches going into it. So he got second in the state today. I'll post some photos in the Discord when I get a chance. So yeah. Yeah, I do have to hop out of here though because I got to take my daughter to a birthday party. But if you guys are still going, I will hop back in when I come back. So on that bombshell,
take care. Okay, quick question here from Michael Hillier. I might as well throw at you while we're waiting for our guests. No squad changes for Tuesday. Do you think we'll have squad changes?
I do.
What would they be?
Squad changes. I think that not many. I think he will actually. I honestly think he might rest Rodriguez or Smith and play Marriott.
Based on what?
On the fact that we've got to play Wickham on Saturday, and when Smith actually, especially when Smith came off tonight, he looked really gassed. And I just think that it would be a good thing to do for the squad. Beyond that, I think that would be the only change actually from what I saw tonight.
Okay.
What about you, Paddy? Do you think there'll be changes?
No, I don't. I think bar some potential injury swaps and changes there, I think he's got his 11, and he's going to use them and abuse them till the end of the season.
Run them into the ground, you think, Paddy?
I think so, yeah. And my argument, because I agree with you, and I like the logic of give them a little bit of a rest and put them in fresh for Peterborough. So I don't mind that logic at all. But the other argument is I think they almost looked their best tonight, the two of them.
I thought
Jay Weldon Smith.
Yeah.
And they linked up nicely with the rest of the team in general. They seemed to understand what the rest of the team were doing and where they were passing the ball. And I think you give them as many minutes together to gel as possible. And you don't miss out either one of them on that 90 minutes, because you're throwing in another element then that if you swap Marriott in, now there's a different format up the front. Now potentially they're going backwards to learn something different again, just a different look, just different running and attacking patterns and what have you. So yeah, I don't mind the idea. I wouldn't mind it if it happened for that reason, but I don't think he will.
I mean, Smith should have scored one tonight. He had a great attempt early on the left side of goal, inside the box, and he hit it straight at the keeper. We looked good at moments, like once we sort of figured out that Rotherham weren't really threatening us, we were attacking pretty freely. But I just think that we could be, I'm worried that we play the players into the ground, and we've got some big matches coming up. Obviously, Wickham next weekend, and I just think, and don't get me wrong, I don't know, Reading's no easy game. It's going to be a tough game at Reading. They're playing well. They've started to climb the table. So, it's going to be a hard game at Reading. So I guess it could be the same starting lineup. I think Rev's been excellent. I think Longman's been excellent. I just think that, so just going through it all, Paddy, in terms of the machinations areas, you're on daddy duties, I know.
Yeah, the young guy wanted a big chocolate Easter bunny,
And did you give it to him?
No.
What? Wrexham won. Celebrate.
He bit one of the other kids like 10 minutes ago. Just before or 20 minutes ago before we started. No.
You're a tough dad.
Not getting a chocolate bunny. Okay. So another quickish question. Just to fill a bit of time here, because I'm still waiting for all my guests who are late.
Yeah, come on, people.
Okay, there was a question about AO. AO saved our bacon today. Do you agree? And actually, how did he look today?
And what was the last bit?
What do you think? How
he was excellent. He was excellent today. There was a couple of moments where I thought he could have come out and got the ball, but beyond that, flawless.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty solid. Most of all, I think he looked comfortable, which he maybe hasn't in the last few matches. He has played pretty good. He's played okay. Didn't look as confident or as comfortable. Today he seemed to be back to his old self.
Couple of great saves today.
Yeah, couple of great saves, which is why we wanted him, because his shot stopping is excellent. Absolutely. Yeah. And in goalkeeper news, our boy Burton was out there taking a couple of shots and warming up.
Good too.
Yeah, I didn't actually see him very much. You did beforehand.
Yeah, he did. He looked game ready to me. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, but I looking at AO at the moment, Burton's not gonna get a chance.
Agreed, Paddy. I agree with you.
I guess we're going to see him on the bench soon enough, though. Potentially.
Yeah, possibly. And look, and to be fair, Howard's done nothing wrong.
No.
And looked good when he was playing for AO like a month ago.
So,
so
that'll be
what a great position to be. But don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Burton is better. And so it should be him. But yeah. Oh, actually, here's a good question, Paddy.
Okay, pulling up.
Any consensus on man of the match or lettuce of the match? Well, I don't know about lettuce. Actually, lettuce of the match will be the guy for Rotherham that has Mendy's haircut. That was pretty cool for me. But man of the match, who do you think was the best player tonight?
I liked Smith actually.
Okay.
I know he only got the one. But he was doing all the right things. He was in the right places for us. And he was making, bar the odd one.
I'm giving it to Longman.
Okay.
He attacked in on his defenders a couple of times today and looked good. Early on, it looked like we were going to be attacking down the left with Rev. He got a lot of space early, but then we seemed to switch to the right. And when that happened, like, don't get me wrong, Longman had a couple of ordinary crosses, but he also created a lot of great opportunities. Very tough there was no one outstanding tonight that you went, yep, definitely him.
I do remember I said to you guys, because we were watching in the background, that Longman could lose his place tonight to Barney. Now that was early in the match. There was a few things he got caught with that I wasn't really comfortable in saying he needs to pick it up here, or potentially he might be sitting it out for Barney to come in. Now, of course, Barney may be in the next match, just for rotational purposes, keeping Longman for Peterborough or whatever. Yep. But no, he did well afterwards. What's this one? Interesting post-match interview with Sam Smith, where he really pushed the point that he hasn't played in a two-striker formation much, and that it's difficult coming in January. Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
And Elizabeth, Sam surely man of the match. There you go. Elizabeth thinks Sam.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, we do have our first guest, who is a new guest. Nick in the background, are you ready? Thumbs up. Good. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Mr. Nick. How are you doing?
Hey, good. Really enjoy
Welcome.
your podcast.
Thank you. As a new guest, 2 seconds.
Right.
Let's do an intro for you. Josh
Yeah.
loves intros. Go ahead.
Yeah. I live in the U.S. in Alexandria, Virginia. So really, my wife started watching the documentary. So I started like following it. I love soccer. Underneath, I have my Borussia Dortmund trainer on, and they're not doing that well this year. And typically, like growing up, I was really a big fan of soccer, so I started watching Newcastle back in the day when Alan Shearer was there, and I've struggled with them throughout the year. So really love watching Wrexham now, and just like I watch it. It's just a normal thing every morning now. Turning it on every Saturday and watching. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay. So I threw out loads of questions early in our little show today. Is there any of those in particular you want to pick on, or give us one of your own?
I think the positivity that I saw was the defending, especially in the second half when they kept on attacking our defense. They really did hold strong, got some good clearances in there. It was positive. It was a really good positive thing, right? One thing that I just keep on yelling at the screen every time I see the starting formation is like, why are they stacking the strikers up front, right? Why don't they spread them out, right? I just feel like that would stretch out the defense a little bit more and give them better chances, and maybe move Lee, one of the other central midfielders, up to actually allow them better chances to getting like stray balls or weak clearances. So yeah, it was a good game today. I mean, you can't argue with the actual with the results, right? It was a good goal by Smith. So
Yeah, Smith's goal was lovely on the end of it.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And the assist. That's something that was really nice, because people have been dumping on Smith Rodriguez a little bit, that the two of them aren't doing enough. And Smith's the £2 million man, and J-Rod is from the Prem and getting paid too much. I think they really worked well and nicely today together.
They did. I think they're building that chemistry that you really need in the front too. But I think that if the gaffer would just maybe get away from this formation, spread them out a little bit, maybe you'd actually see that a little bit more. But yeah, I think I totally understand, like the very first chance that Smith had today, I was just yelling like, oh my God, like, why did he try to go for the corners? Like, right at it was a good strike, but still, I mean, he's standing right in front of the ball, right? So yeah, it was it was good. It was good to see that movement. I just kind of wish that they would maintain control in the central midfield a little bit more, move the ball forward, not so many like counter strikes or long balls up, so to actually create more chances, right? So
good observations, Nick. I love it. Very insightful.
It's these are all things I'm yelling at the screen the whole time.
So do you how's your feelings? Do you think we're going to be good enough to snatch second spot this season and go up?
I'm hopeful. As that goal differential is massive, right? And we have Wakeham coming up too. Like, if we can get those 3 points, I mean, I think that it's ours to lose at that point, I believe. If they can just keep this momentum, just keep on working on the chemistry, because we have to remember, like, those guys were brought in January, right? They're still trying to figure out each other's little intricacies and everything. So it's gonna be a really good, I guess, your Hollywood ending they keep on saying about Wrexham, right? So it's going to come down to the wire, I believe. But I think they have a really good chance in getting a solid second. Like, if they can just keep moving, it's like, just keep this starting 11 in there. Maybe, it's like, you hate to see Mecca not get a start, but Revan is looking really good on that left side. So
I don't think the goal difference is going to matter. It rarely does. But of course, it is worth a point
Right.
to Wickham. And yeah, it looks like we're going to be in a good position because we've a game before they do. If we take 3 points, it's going to look amazing when we go to play them at the weekend. And all the positivity is going to be on our side. And it would be great to have that because, look, if worst case happened and they beat us, then we'd still be even with just a game in hand, which is never something guaranteed either.
Right.
But if we take them out, we are absolutely in the driver's seat because we've mentioned it a few times on this show. Wickham have a very difficult run-in. And I'm starting to get very happy with the bottom 4 starting to open and it to start to become clear that they're going down. Because if that's sorted in the next 2 weeks, that's pretty much before we start hitting all those teams in our easier finish to the season. So that would be amazing for our running as well.
Yeah. I think we have a really good. Yeah, sorry. I just want to say, I think we do have a really good chance, right? I'm very hopeful. My wife is a little bit more of a pessimist. She's a diehard Wrexham fan now. She's a pessimist about it. It's like, but I think they actually have a good chance. Like from what I was seeing, especially at the end of the game, just like congealing in the back, making sure they're not going to leak a goal with an injury time, right? So yeah, it looked good.
It was nervy. I will say it was nervy for those final 10 minutes or so. It's like you hate to see the ball bouncing around the box. And Josh Anthony is in the chat. Look at this. Yeah. He gave you a shout out first for a debut call. Yes. You mentioned that. But then he says, bring her on. Bring the missus on.
Yeah. Bring her on.
Does she want to come join us?
You get both of you up and get your alternate views. That would be awesome.
Okay. No problem. So
I think well, it's funny, Paddy, you mentioned about the run. Like our toughest section of our run home is our next 3 games.
Yes, we're in the middle of it right now.
Away, Wickham away, and then Stockport at home. We do have Charlton at the end of the season, but in terms of a run, that's our hardest run, which is our next 3 games. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, Reading will be a tough match, but they're again a beatable team. You know, this is where it's in our hands, and we need to step up and show that we're deserving of the auto promotion. So we need to push Reading, who are hit and miss very much, and then we have Wickham in our own hands, and then we have Stockport. And after that match, if we take these next 3 matches, like that is huge, absolutely ridiculously huge, because we could have a nice gap by that point.
And then we play 2 of those relegation teams, Cambridge and Burton.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting. And then if we compare that with Wickham, who obviously get the midweek off, and their next game is against us, well, they have an easier run now. Like besides us, they have Rotherham away, Lincoln City at home, Shrewsbury at home. But then it starts to get tougher for them because they have Reading away, Huddersfield away, teams that are going to be fighting to hopefully Reading's still fighting to get into the playoffs. But then you've got, then they have a bit easier, but then they go Bolton, Charlton, Leyton Orient, Stockport finish. Their tail end of the season is what can really hurt them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What do you think of that, Nick?
Yeah. I was just bringing up the schedule. It's like, it looks, like looking at this, I really think they have a really good chance. I just hope they can carry this momentum from today into the Reading match coming up, right? If they can get those 3 points there, and it's going to be tough. Wickham has a day, no midweek match. So, they're going to be preparing for us the entire week, right? So,
I think that too.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough match, and how Wrexham away. So, it's like 2 away matches, then we've got Stockport at home. So it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but if they can keep this momentum, just kind of keep on working on that chemistry. And you know,
what do you mean, Nick? We're awesome away now. We've won our last 3 away games in a row. We're the away team.
I know historically, and plus I'm a suffering Borussia Dortmund fan, so our away. So I'm always very pessimistic for the away matches. So
this is an interesting question. Well, comment from John Hills. 3 draws isn't even that terrible for the next 3 matches. Okay, wouldn't be amazing, but yes, I actually agree with the comment. It wouldn't be terrible. So that, in fairness, does mean there's a lot of options for combining the next 3 matches that are very positive for us. So if you're saying 3 points is good, then 4, a win, a draw, and a loss in the next 3 is even better. You know, depending, obviously, you don't want to lose to Wickham out of those 3 if you have to pick anybody. But like a win and 2 draws is also very possible. 2 wins and a draw, 3 wins. You know, it's all possible there in the next 3.
Yeah, so I think it's very important that we don't drop any points in these next 3. Like, it's so tight right now.
Annie, ooh, that's a big call. No, I'd love it. Absolutely. Look, if we pull 9, that's amazing.
Yeah,
it really is. But like, if we do that in these next 3, and then there's some people have a game in hand on us, but we have that gap on the leaderboard as well, like that would be absolutely amazing. Certainly.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of resting, to be honest. I've seen lots of teams, but not just Wrexham do it. International weeks, I absolutely hate international weeks. Everybody says, oh yeah, you get 2 weeks training and you get rest and you get all of this, and we come back after the 2 weeks and get absolutely smashed and look like shit.
Actually, let's just, Paddy, why don't we just switch gears a bit here? I want to hear some more about Nick. What do you think, Nick, of our current lineup? Like, how do you feel? Do you think there's anyone you'd rather see playing, or you're happy, or how do you feel?
I hate not seeing McLean, right? He's just such a force. When he came on, I mean, he was just like naturally going into his left side position, right? I would love to see him in there, but Revan, you can't argue. I mean, the performances he's put in there, the work that he's been putting in, I mean, he's dynamic, right? I think that the front 2, I'm not crazy about Rodriguez. Maybe I like his size. I would love to see Marriott get another chance, right? Because I remember at the beginning of the season, he was really looking good, and then he gets his injury and he's out. So I think that really, if they could tweak something, maybe the front 2, but you know, there's an argument against that too, because like with that awesome assist from Rodriguez today to Smith, that was a great combination. But I think that overall, I think the starting 11 is looking good. I think they could do a little bit, some tweaks here and there, but I think they look good right now. The defense, it was like you mentioned earlier, is you kind of holding your breath for 10 minutes because they're really laying it on to them. But they held when they needed to. Arab is all hands on deck to hold, and they did a good job, right? I think the starting 11 looked pretty good. But yeah, I mean, if I could do anything, I would make Marriott a little bit taller and a little bit bigger. Fit him in where Rodriguez is, but you know, he's a force to reckon with when he's on the field. So I would like to see him get some more time on the field.
Yeah, regarding those last 10 minutes or so where everything got nervy, even longer, the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
At one point, I was shouting at my TV and I started shouting, triangles, triangles. It's like, we're not comfortable enough on the ball. And now there's a difference between being comfortable to play forward and to play through players. But our team is good enough that when we are trying to play keep away with the football, we should be able to get into triangles and just pass around ourselves without needing to particularly move forward. We should be able to just play around a couple of players chasing us and hold the ball and play into different space. Move it left, move it right. You know, do the boring, let's move it backwards at this point and then switch wings, whatever. That we should be comfortable enough to do for a last 15 minutes, for our last 10 minutes, when we want to hold possession for no other reason than to run down the clock. That annoys me that we're not better at that, because we take the ball, we get it from them, and then we just boot it up for them to, well, for one of our guys to get. But if he misses it, that's it. It's turned over. They have another chance at dropping it into our box with a long ball, which this team can do today. They do it as well. They are a potential, well, they are a long ball team. They just don't do it maybe as much as sometimes we do. But I want to see us get better at that game. Just simple triangle play and look comfortable doing it. You know, that I think is important.
Yeah, I would like to echo that. That's one thing I constantly have issues with, how they're just holding off onto the ball. They're doing these quick clearances down the field and just not holding on to the ball. When they do get it, they're not working to maintain control. It's just, it's maddening. But yeah, until I don't know if that's the tactic from the gaffer or what, but it just looks like they're just backing off and just allowing them to come after them, right? Just that horrible style. Like I'd rather see them maintain the control, pass it, and just try to move it forward, or just like you said, just run down the clock, right? I was yelling too, and I'm a little hoarse from it too. So.
Okay, so our new midfield today. Dobson obviously has an injury and couldn't play. Lee started in the midfield. How did you like our midfield today?
I think it looked good. I'm not too crazy about. I'm just bringing it up to remind myself. Yeah, wasn't crazy about Matty James in the midfield. I didn't think that he really brought that much. I didn't see that. That's one thing I had issues with, like them controlling the midfield. Like that they've been, from everything I've seen, it looks like they've been struggling with that the entire season. Like maintain that control. They give up position too easy, like in the midfield, and the progression is just not working out well. Where it turns into like hoofball, right? Just kicking it down the field, trying to find an open man, right? So I really think that.
Do you think we have a midfielder that can play that role that you want?
That's really hard. That's really hard to say right now. I don't think we have. We don't think they have anybody to fill in right now. Like when I'm looking at like what we have is, I don't think there's anybody that can fit that.
Can Evans do that role?
I think he could. I haven't really kept up with his status. I know he came on late in the game today. But why hadn't, just question for you? I'm not too tied into the local media on his status, but has he been dealing with injuries? Because the times I've seen him play, he's been really good, right? I remember last season, but this season he's just been absent, right? So he's been dealing with injuries. So yeah, I think that, if he's getting better, like he spent some time today, and maybe get a little bit of the chemistry between him and Lee in the central midfield might be what they need, right? Maybe that's the missing element there, right? So those little tweaks there. I mean, yeah, I just haven't seen anything that Matty James has been bringing, but I'm also a Yank, as you guys say, who's like seeing it from an American point of view. So,
well, what do you think of the shot today?
Yeah, he had an absolute blitz of a strike.
Yeah,
that was one hell of a shot.
It was. it was. That was the one. That was the one shining moment that he had, right? But it's like besides that, I think that it's really need to have better control of the midfield to have that good progression from the back to the front. So
Yeah, holistically, I understand what you're saying. Like, we don't sort of have that real control through the midfield that would make us look more polished and create more threats for our opposition. I mean, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean you can't argue with that strike that he had. I mean, I totally understand. It's like it was a great strike, right, and really tested the goalkeeper at that point. But it's like other than that, there's wasn't much else that I saw that he brought today. But yeah, I mean, maybe a tweak in the midfield with Evans if he's match fit, right? So
Yeah, we do have to remember a little bit as well that both Evans just coming back from injury and Lee just hasn't been playing enough minutes. So they're going to be a little rusty in what they're trying to do. So we're getting to the stage that our midfield's a little bit makeshift at the moment. But they are good players who could absolutely go up a couple of gears. And when they're on fire, we could hopefully see some nice control and nice positive play from there. But overall, decent. Part of the issue we've always kind of had is speed. And it is sometimes important in the midfield to be able to both move the ball around and move yourself quick to get around on the pitch in order to be able to move the ball like that.
Present yourself.
Yeah. And to get into spaces for triangles and to give more than one option, because maybe that's another issue. I've complained numerous times that we're not getting into positions to allow more than the one pass. And part of that is speed as well. You have to see it happening quick enough, and then you have to move to get into that position. Now, we do have another guest in the background. Camera is bouncing around just a little bit, but Robert, we see you there. Are you ready to come in? Your camera is frozen just a little bit.
It's frozen there, yeah.
Okay, 2 seconds and I'll bring you in then.
Yeah. So I guess, I mean, the current state of play with our squad and the amount of matches left in the season, I mean, we've got, what's that left now? Is it, we're down to 12 matches now?
11.
11 matches to go over the next 8 weeks, roughly.
No less, actually. Oh, okay.
Goes quickly. Yeah, Robert's dropped out there. I think he must have been in a bad spot.
Yeah, it didn't look like he was getting full control. But Robert, if you can still hear us, do come back in. Try and get a nice signal. Love to have you on board and have another new guest for today's show. And we do have someone else sitting in the background who I might as well bring in. Look at this guy. He's back. With no volume. Muted.
There it is. Muted.
There it is. Very professional.
Actually, change it back. You sounded better before.
Oh, oh shit.
Okay. I've just saw a comment that's going to throw a little curveball out there. Let's see what you think it is.
Ooh.
Sean Bartlett Evans with the double barrel. Is it free agent time? Now follow that up. Free agent where?
Well,
you said it. Throw an answer out there.
Guess the first crack at it.
Yeah. Go for it, Nick. Have you thoughts?
I mean, we're just talking about the midfield, right? Is there anybody out there with a little bit more speed to help widen it up and to get those extra passes, right? Could be an option, right?
It could, absolutely. And just thinking about it, now, like immediately, I would have said no. We don't need it. We're doing well enough. We're getting there. But in January, a lot of people were shouting out for a Cam, to have a bit more attacking presence in the midfield. So maybe. But it's a bad time of year. Who's fit? Who's ready? Who can play? So yeah, look, we can afford wages for 2 months, but is there someone out there?
Yeah, that's the problem is there someone out there that's fit and ready to go now?
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue. There's a few out there, but would they be able to come in and impact the team? I mean,
Yeah, it's got to be
maybe.
someone high level.
The one that would be interesting, and because he's pretty high level, would be Jeff Hendrick. I'm gonna try to pull him up and I don't know if he's signed with anybody yet, and I knew he was out. I know Joe Morrell's been put out there. The problem with Joe Morrell is he's more of a defensive player. And so I don't know if that would be the one we would look for. But Jeff Hendrick is an interesting one. Trying to pull him up on FOTMob.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to bring in our guest, Robert.
There you go.
He is back with us. Let's see if everything is good on his end. Robert, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good, good. How are you doing?
So,
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm not going to have a lot of time because I'm going to be off to the golf course, as I told you.
Yeah, you looked like, I thought that was a golf course.
Yeah, so just as I said, I spend my winters down in Florida trying to get the best of the weather. But a couple of quick points. Not a great game, but a great outcome. I think that's fair. I didn't catch the name of your previous guest, but I think we all have the same issues with the midfielder. As I was saying, I guess a couple of games ago, is that we need a dominant number 10. We just don't have that. And my other comment is, if you were to look at the game without any context of any other game, any other seasons, you would say, it's a middling team. It's not a great team. But we're number 2, we're tied for number 2, third goal differential. And it's just something to marvel at. Without being a seemingly dominant team, we're getting great results on a season-wide basis.
Yeah.
So, long may it continue. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that.
That's very fair. Yeah.
I love the fact we got another golfer in here, Rob. Well done, mate.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. One more time, please.
I just said I'm glad we got another golfer in here, Rob.
Oh, yes.
Ken loves his golf.
One of my passions. I wish I was good at it, though. So,
well, just on your comment there, Rob.
Just got a late penalty to salvage that point.
They did. No, sorry. The first goal against them was a penalty.
To salvage the point.
No, it's the wrong way around. The first goal against Wickham was a penalty, and then Wickham scored in the extra time themselves to draw it 1-1.
Oh, okay. I must have misheard on the well, whichever.
Yeah.
Worked out well from Wrexham's point of view, which is a good thing. So, gentlemen, I'm going to thank you for letting me on. I'll catch you in the next game. I guess it's Tuesday's the game?
Yeah, Tuesday's evening game. Might be a better time for you, maybe.
And I'll see you guys then. Till then, up to town, gentlemen. Up to town.
Okay, come back and talk to us again, Robert. Catch you later.
Yep. Later, Robert.
Will do. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
All right. So, on free agents, first, John Hills with the comment of the day. Jeff Hendrick. Jeff Hendrick is a free agent midfielder. He was at Sheff Wednesday last season. He played 12 matches for him, got a goal. Season before that, he played 46 matches for Reading.
Okay.
And he got 4 goals and an assist. And then he was at QPR before that, Newcastle before that. He played, looks like, between the 2 seasons at Newcastle, he played 27 matches for him. Then he was at Burnley before that, and Derby County before that. He is an experienced midfielder that's played mostly at a higher level. But same thing. Oh, so Paul's saying he's signed for Derby County. I haven't seen that yet. It's still showing him as I knew there was talk that he could go back to the Derby County. I wasn't sure if they'd signed him or if that had happened or not.
Okay.
So, yeah, Paul's saying he's signed for Derby County. So, yeah. But, yeah, that was the only one that I saw that was really super intriguing for me.
Okay. Let's assume for 2 seconds that we don't bring anyone in.
I doubt we will.
Yeah, which I do doubt as well. Is anybody worried about it? Are you happy we're strong enough to finish it out?
I'm not worried about it yet, but another injury, it could become an issue. You know what I mean? You say if Rathbone, or somebody goes down, one of the starters goes down. Now we're looking. Then we're getting real thin, and so then you do have to start to worry a little bit, depending on how long Dobson's out for. We don't know that yet. I don't know if anybody saw that yet, or if they've talked about it in the post-match stuff on YouTube. I don't know if I haven't seen that, so I don't know if they've talked about it. But yeah, I mean, we could start to get thin in midfield. So yeah, another injury or two, we could be really in trouble.
Well, barring injuries, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, I'm really not worried. Like, obviously, the injury thing, right? You could always argue you should bring somebody in just in case, but I think right now it's pretty solid, and I think I have a pretty positive view of this team right now. I think they have some good players. Like, you can make the little tweaks, you can make the argument about formation, but I'm very positive about it. Okay. Barring injury, right? So yeah.
So on the same topic, but from a different tack, we only saw Maka on for a very short time today, and obviously it was in a defensive mode, trying to just get to the end of the clock. Who is comfortable with Maka starting a 90-minute game in midfield?
Nope.
Ken shaking head no.
Nope.
Nick?
No.
No.
I mean, I love watching him play, but yeah, I think that they have a good option in that position, younger option, and he's doing really well. So yeah.
Okay. I was about to jump on that, but Aaron, yes or no on Maka starting in midfield?
I don't mind Mecca. I think he could start in midfield if he needed to. And obviously not my first option, but in a pinch, I wouldn't be worried.
That's probably my next question then. Choosing between Maka or Ashfield, who do you start?
You know my answer.
Ken says Ashfield.
Who we playing?
Maka or... Well,
no, who are we playing against?
Anybody.
It depends. If we're playing Wickham, I start Maka. Nah. If we're playing Crawley, I start Ashfield.
Okay.
Nick, what are you thinking?
Nicky?
Yeah, I think that actually sounds pretty good because, yeah, just their style of play. I think that it really does depend on who we're playing.
For me, it's just an experience thing. If we're playing a game that we think is going to be tough, I would rather have Mac in there just for the experience. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see Ashfield get some game time, though. I would really like to see it. It's just it's going to be hard because the games are so important now in this run-in because we're in a promotion push. That's going to be the trouble.
Well, Paddy, here we go. Let me say this. If every game that Ashfield started, I know it was the Virtue Cup, every game he started, all the comments were, "Oh my God, he's going to be great. He's awesome. He's, look at what he's giving as options. You're good enough. You're old enough. Get him on. I think he will just come ahead leaps and bounds with more minutes. And I don't care whether it's versus Wickham or whether it's versus Crawley. The simple fact of the matter is he turns defenders and he's not afraid to take them on, and he is a threat. And that's what we're missing in the midfield.
Yeah, it's one of those where if you play the odds, Parky is risk adverse. So yes, he's going to play Maka most likely before giving before giving them the shot. But yeah, I like to take chances here and there. I would like to see Ashfield, because this is one of those scenarios. What if you put him on and he's amazing? Honestly, like if you put him in and he steps up and goes for it, that absolutely changes his whole trajectory with the club.
Yep.
It really does.
And that's what I think too. But here's the counter argument to that. Let's say he comes on and he makes a critical error, right? Mm-hmm. And I get it. He makes a critical error. Yeah. He's young. He comes off, Parky takes him under his arm and says, it's going to happen. You're going to have a long and great career. Just go back out there and go again.
I think that will be the risk that's being weighed up. But because if he makes that critical error at this point in the season, it could cost us promotion. That will be why it'd be Maka over Ashfield. I think that's I think with his in Barney or in Parky's head, I think that's where it is. Again, like I said, I think against certain Josh, I think it's a game, or it's just because the games are so important. It's the having somebody that knows what they're doing and is less likely to make those critical mistakes is.
I do in general agree, but the one thing I would say is when we're in the situation that we are considering Maka, versus Ashfield, right? I would much prefer to put Ashfield on first, and if he can't handle it, you move to Maka. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can do it the other way. Like, you can't put Maka on and then have Ashfield to come on to save the day either. That's the other side of it.
Ashfield's a midfielder. Maka isn't.
Well, Maka's played most of his career in the midfield.
Yeah, but so not anymore.
Right, he hasn't for us, but
the problem is, in the middle of the Stoke K-Ras, the Zimmer frame doesn't work. It only works at left wing back. So that's why he can't play midfield. That's why he was out on the wing back tonight when he came on.
Okay. Another question about Ashfield then. Would you be more worried about Ashfield when attacking or when defending?
I'm not worried about either. Welcome back, Wayne Evans.
No, I'll answer my question. Don't sit in the fence.
All right, say it again then.
Which would you be more worried about? Ashfield when he's attacking or when he's defending?
Well, you obviously have to be more worried about defence. But remember, he's a cam. He's a central attacking midfielder. So he's not doing anywhere near as much in defence.
Okay.
That's the Dobbo, Evans, Ruthbone, Matty James role if Ashfield's playing.
But this is another reason where I would say you put him on first to go attacking, and then you pull him off late in the game to go more defensive.
Yes, it would be a good way of getting him more time, right? Getting him more time on the field. But in those really crucial games, I really think that you would want to get Maka on there. Like, I think since every point counts right now, like we're trying to get promotion, I think that I would still in the bigger games go for McLean. So
yeah. Okay. I think that question has been done.
The lot of you just all a bunch of.
I think we've hit every side of that question there, pretty much. So, does anybody have a particular topic that we haven't covered? Now, I know you may not have been listening, Aaron, but
Yeah, I missed some of it.
Nick, anything else we haven't hit tonight you might want to talk about?
No. It was. I think we've covered everything at this point, but it was an okay game, right? It was okay. It was great result. Okay game. So
okay, let's hit attack a little bit then. Smith and Rodriguez. One of my questions for the start was, are they finally worth the money and the wages and the pay? Because a lot of criticism lately. Where's your goals for your 2 million? As if he doesn't potentially have a 3-year, 4-year career with us. But anyway, what do we think about today?
Well, so far
Smith,
we've paid $1 million per goal so far.
Yeah.
So
I'm for me, the money's irrelevant. They're looking better and better every week.
I agree.
Even playing.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
I thought that little header
flick
header
was excellent.
Unbelievable.
Rodriguez, yeah.
And
Quality.
that's been coming. He's had a few of those and little passes, just quick passes that you've seen it coming the last few games, and then finally have connected. And it was great. A great finish from Smith. So yeah, I'm happy with those two. I think keep letting them play. The more they play, the better they're getting. They're starting to get playing better with the rest of the team as well. Yeah, I think they're doing great.
A goofy splat.
Trying to throw the cat among the pigeons. Smith's got the same amount of league goals now as Mullen. Assuming you're not counting his goals before he counts.
Yeah. Pretend he didn't play at Reading first.
Yeah. That's
okay.
true.
Interesting comment here from Elizabeth. She thinks that Sam Smith maybe has heard the moaning, and that's why he was pushing home the fact that he hasn't played much in the 2-striker formation to try and dampen expectations. Now, I got to take a break for 2 seconds, guys. I'll be back in a minute.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I think, look, he's just making a general comment there. I don't think, look, the players in the dressing room don't care too much about the chatter outside. Their only focus is winning games and getting promoted. So to me, that's not really a thing. But I mean, do you have any different take on that, Nick?
No. I keep on. I think that they look much better today than they have previously. I think they're congealing really well with each other right now. But it's like it still comes back. I don't think they're putting enough pressure. I don't know if it's because they're losing the ball in the midfield enough to actually get that actual attacking pressure. But yeah, I think the two players look good. Like obviously they can score. They've shown that they're proven strikers, right? But yeah, I just hope that them starting with each other each week really helps them continue to get that really good chemistry between them, and we see more goals like we saw today, right? It was just a beautiful combination. So
actually, just quickly, Nick, I've got a quick question for you. You said your wife got you into with watching Welcome to Wrexham. Is she an avid football follower, or was she just Welcome to Wrexham and not football?
I think it was Ryan Gosling that got her, maybe. So, but yeah, she's followed. She grew up in West Africa. She's always followed football her whole life, right? Kind of fell out a little bit like later on in life, but she really got into it, and she's just an avid fan. We usually watch. She usually watches more tennis. We play tennis, both of us. But it's so she's just really into it. And myself loving football, been watching it since I was a teenager. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have a chat to her after one of the next games. We should get both of you on and get the difference of opinion. Do you think she'll come on?
Maybe I might be able to. She, like I said, she's pessimistic. I'm more optimistic. I see the positive of the team, like not leaking a goal in the last few minutes, right? As like,
Yep.
So yeah, that maybe I can get her to make.
We'll get her on a computer in another room. You on a computer in your room now, and then we can watch the interesting back and forth dynamic of the two of you dissecting a game.
Yeah. I'll
Fantastic.
try to do that. Yeah, she loves Wrexham. But yeah,
that would be fantastic.
It's interesting listening to her in the last 5 minutes of the game when they were just kept on attacking. She was just literally yelling at like clear the ball, maintain control. It's like everything we're saying is like just maintain control. Come on, guys. But yeah, it's interesting dynamic. But yeah.
Don't kick the ball, pass it.
Yeah, pass it. Stop huffing it. Stop huffing it.
Between you and her and Paddy going, triangles.
Sooner or later, maybe somebody will hear us, right? Like, oh yeah,
I know,
we can maintain control.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, I think this has been a good show. Hour 10. Some good talk tonight. Thank you for coming on, Nick, and thanks guys for staying with us and joining us this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
And in the next one, we take second place.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Midweek Reading. Let's do it.
Come on, Reading. Let's give you a kick in and take that auto spot, and then never leave it for the rest of the season.
I'm sure Josh will have to get James from Reading AFC on
Oh, yes. It'd
be good to have a chat with James. He's a good guy from Reading.
Yeah, I'd like to hear an update from him on some of the background stuff going on there with the club.
Yeah,
he's heard more rumors.
Yeah, exactly. He's probably got some more info than what we would have heard. So, yeah, it'd be good to get him back on.
Okay. Well, guys, give a like, thumbs up, all that good stuff that YouTube like. Discord, which I put up earlier, but I'll do once more. If you're not in our Discord chat, come and join us because we talk everything Wrexham, and we have a couple of other channels in there as well, just for fun. We talk a lot of nonsense in there, but it's great to waste away a couple of hours with other friends who enjoy Wrexham. So join us there, and don't forget to join us next week when we take that auto promotion spot. Take care, everyone, and good night.
Bye.
Bye, guys.